So big question at the moment, can you use an online account like N26, for example, to apply for residency? Well, it's a question that's been all over Facebook actually this week. I think regularly. I've just seen it pop up a few times, and someone's asked me just now in a call. So I thought, you know what, let's do a video and offer our opinion on this. Right. Okay. So there isn't actually in the law, the residency law, there isn't actually anywhere where it states that the bank can't be online or anything like that. All right. It just states that you have to have sufficient recourse to be able to economically survive in Spain, to say. So what we have to do is look at what we've used in our applications in the past, which we're now using, to apply for these recent first-time TIE cards, and what the police accept. Now, if you're working off a base of savings, so you've got sufficient money in the bank to live off of, or you've maintained sufficient money in the bank, which are they're looking for normally, as I did a video before regarding the economic proof that you can sustain yourself in Spain. You'll know that they want to see the minimum required amount EPREM has been in an account for more than 6 months, which is around €6,000. Or you've got a fixed deposit of 5 times that amount. All right, they may ask you proof of where that deposit came from. If you've just opened a bank account and gone boom, there's a large deposit. And if that proof comes from a Spanish bank, all right, let's call it a high street bank, then that proof has to come in a stamped either average balance certificate or actual balance certificate, which has to be stamped by the bank itself. On some occasions as well, even when we've been using a sufficient average balance certificate, the police have now requested, or the Extranjería has now requested a statement, stamped statements to prove that person or where the money's come from, or that person's actually been using the account and they're actually physically here in Spain. So on the occasions where people actually have already held an account in Spain for a while and they've got, say they haven't had sufficient savings in that account, but they're using other means to prove, which I'll come to in a minute, that they can economically sustain themselves in Spain, but they have got a small account which they've been using, say, just for small transactions, spending money here, there, wherever. We always ask for stamped statements, which we put in the application for residency to prove that they've actually been here in Spain. Okay, so remember the 3 parts of the application is healthcare, economic cover, and the proof that you're here living within the withdrawal agreement. And quite often the economic sustainability coincides with the proving that you're living here, because the bank account proves you're spending money here in Spain. All right, so in terms of when it's a Spanish bank account, we always get the either average balance certificate stamped, actual balance certificate if it's sufficient, stamped. And then now for all applications across the board, if you've had an account open for however long you've had it open, we're asking for either 6 months or less of statements proving the movements of the account, because it proves that you're here. It's belts and braces time at the moment. Now, for accounts from abroad, evidently it's really hard to get stamped statements from an account in the UK. We've had success with online statements, but obviously not screenshots or anything like that. Online statements that you download, which show who the title holder of the account is. It shows also the logo of the bank. It shows all the relevant information of the account. And 6 months of those translated by an official translator in Spain, which that does come rubber stamped, obviously the translator. We've actually had a few approved using accounts from the UK. Sometimes people who have accounts in the UK will transfer the money into a Spanish bank account. In that case, we build a trail. So if you've had say you've had €10,000 in savings in the UK, we'll put in 6 month statements of that. And if the money is released from there, you can clearly see it moving to the Spanish account. And we'll put an actual balance certificate and statements from the Spanish bank account in with the application, which builds up the trail of the savings. All right. So that's what we've been doing for applications, and we've had a good response from immigration using that, always making sure that the paperwork is correct. Now, online accounts, this is where the confusions come in. Do you know what? Yes, if you want to try and apply with an N26 account, for your application, you can do. But my advice would be not to. And the reason being is because we're that close to the end of the year, it's getting harder and harder and harder to get a response from the police from the initial applications. If you've got an online account, all right, that doesn't prove or qualify that you're actually here in Spain. All right, and although it may qualify you've got money, you can't get a stamped statement. You can download your statements. It might even prove that you've got movements in the account. You know, saying you've been spending money here. But you know what? We're at late doors now. We're late on, and my advice would be, if you want to use an online account, yeah, do it. But to be honest with you, although there's charges involved, I think belts and braces. We're only two months towards the end of the year now. I would get a high street account. Obviously, the signing of the contract of the high street account means that you've been in the office, you've got a physical document. You can say, hey, look, I'm here in Spain, I'm here within the withdrawal agreement. If the Foreign Office asks for, get back to us and ask for statements, that you're here, and they want to see a statement. It means you physically have to go to the bank, you have to get a rubber stamp. Well, guess what? They only give those stamps to you. So that proves that you are here within the withdrawal agreement. So I think at this late stage, if you are going for residency, it's my personal opinion, it's better to have a high street account, which you can get physical documentation from with a stamp. I love a good stamp here, and then use that for your application. And it also means moving forward, if there's any requirements requested from you from the Foreign Office, then you can go back to your bank, get another stamp. Right? You can't do that with an online account. And generally, I've always had problems with online accounts doing residency applications. Right? So I'm not saying that you can't apply for an online account. What I'm saying is, in our opinion and in my opinion, it's better to have a high street branch for your residency application. Now, once your residency application has gone through, and this time next year, if you're looking to cut costs and you're not happy with your high street branch, it might be a good idea to actually get an online account, and then you can sack it off. Why not? I've got an online account, which I use. But I think with this short amount of time we've got till the end of the year, and with anybody who's looking to put an application in now for first-time residency, I think high street branch is definitely the way forward. Because, as I say, it's extra proof that you're here within the withdrawal agreement, and everybody loves a good stamp.